The 3x3 Speedcube market has become incredibly saturated in the past year or two, and so it's becoming increasingly difficult to find a Speedcube that's just right for you. Obviously, most people can't buy all or even most of the new cubes that come out. So let's take a look at some of the best Speedcubes out there right now and see if we can find one that's perfect for you. Before I begin with the list of cubes I'll be covering, it's important to note that performance is not the only thing about a cube that may make it right for someone, because not everybody has the same budget when they're looking for a good Speedcube. To try and make this video fit everybody's needs, I'll be covering these cubes in groups based on price. The first group will consist of cubes that are under $10, the second group will cover cubes in a $10 to $20 range, and the final group will include anything over $20. I've compiled a list of 10 cubes that I'll be covering in this video. The MF3RS, the Thunderclap, the Guoguan Yuexiao, the Aolong V2, the Yutang Long, the Weilong GTS, the Volk 3, the Gans Erm, the Gans Erm, and the Volk M. These have been ranked in order of price, and this is also the order in which I'll be covering them. First up, we have the MF3RS. Most people consider this cube to be the best budget Speedcube on the market because it's only $5 on the cubicle, but greatly outperforms other cubes at similar price points. It has good corner cutting and turning, and doesn't feel cheap, contrary to what you'd expect. The performance isn't amazing, but isn't terrible either, and I can get somewhat close to my normal times on this cube. This cube would be perfect for beginners on a low budget who want to get a good cube to start out with without costing them much money at all. Next up, we have the Chee Thunderclap, which is definitely another good option for low-budget Speedcubers. This cube became very popular a while ago for a variety of reasons, namely its incredible performance at such a low price, only $9, and also partially because of Sile the King, a YouTuber who used this cube as his main for quite a long time, and talked all the time about how much he loved it. Of course, he isn't the only one to have used this cube as his main, and in fact, it was considered by many, myself included, to be one of the best cubes on the market for quite some time. It has excellent performance in corner cutting, and also has a nice buttery smooth feeling once lubricated and broken in. Unfortunately, I've had a pretty bad problem with corner twisting on this cube, which is definitely its main flaw. Now we're entering the medium price range, and we'll be starting off this section with the Guoguan Yuexiao. Even though it's not currently my main, the Guoguan Yuexiao is still one of my favorite 3x3s because of its solid performance and smooth feeling. The feeling is actually something quite unique about this cube. It's smooth, but not buttery smooth like the Thunderclap. It has more of a papery smooth feeling and doesn't have as much substance to the turning as most cubes. I've heard some people say that this cube has too light of a feeling for them, but I personally don't mind it at all and actually kind of enjoy it. Other than that, there isn't really anything special about it. It has fairly normal corner cutting for a cube at its price point, and doesn't have any major lockup issues apart from some small catches that occur occasionally. Additionally, this cube only rarely pops or corner twists. Next we have the Aolong V2, by far the oldest cube on this list. Depending on how long you've been cubing, you might have heard of Feliks Zemdegs' 5.33 DNF, which is on the Aolong V1 caused by a corner twist on the last turn. The Aolong V2 was produced to fix the issue of corner twisting, which it was very effective at doing. While they still can occur, they have been severely reduced in the second iteration of the Aolong. The Aolong V2 is a very loud and clacky cube with a slower turning speed and fantastic corner cutting. One concern I have with the Aolong V2 is that it takes an incredibly long time to break in. This cube isn't that good out of the box and takes thousands and thousands of solves to bring it to its full potential. However, after that it can be an extremely well-performing and consistent cube that many top solvers in the world used in the past. In fact, the former world record holder Lucas Etter used this cube to get the first sub-5 single solve in competition. Additionally, YouTube personality UberCuber used this cube for a very long time and only switched to the Volk M a few months ago upon its release. The next cube on this list is the Yutang Long. Now, let me preface this really quickly by saying that not many people like this cube, and so it's probably not the best cube for you. But I did want to include it on this list for a few reasons. First of all, it has a much slower turning speed than any other cube in this video. This can be helpful depending on your turning style, or could be a good option if you're switching from a Rubik's brand to help you adjust to a Speedcube without getting something super fast. Another reason for including this cube is that I have found this cube to be an excellent option to use in competition to help calm my nerves, and I think that for some people this could be a reason to buy this cube over others. Its main benefits are the controllability and extreme stability. On top of that, it's very reliable because of how difficult it is to corner twist or pop this cube. Next up is the Weilong GTS. The Weilong GTS was MoYu's 2016 flagship 3x3 and attracted a ton of attention. While it did become my main for a short period of time, I quickly got tired of it and wasn't a big fan after a few weeks of using it. While some people did share my feelings on this cube, it was also loved by many, and quite a few of the top 3x3 solvers in the world use this cube as their main. It also has amazing corner cutting and a loud clicky feeling that many people enjoy. It doesn't have any problems with popping or corner twisting in my experience. For people with accurate turning styles, this is a great choice. Additionally, while I didn't include the magnetic version of this cube on my list, it's also an excellent choice of a Speedcube. One of the most popular Speedcubes right now is the Chee Volk 3. The Volk 3 is a fast and smooth cube with a slightly crunchy sound once it's been lubricated and broken in. Another nice feature of this cube is its corner cutting, and it is one of the only cubes here that can hold its own with Gans cubes when it comes to corner cutting, but we'll get to those in a bit. This cube was my main for a while after it came out, and it's still one of my favorites. This cube also doesn't pop or corner twist, and overall this is an excellent cube that will probably continue to be many people's favorites for a long time. Now we're getting into the most expensive Speedcubes on the market, starting off with the Gans 356 Air. Also, none of the remaining cubes have any popping or corner twisting issues, so let's get that out of the way so I can stop saying it. I never liked Gans cubes in the past because of their constant catching and instability. However, the Air has fixed a lot of this. While it can still catch occasionally with my turning style, it keeps its shape more and works much better in my solves. Like the Volk, it has incredible corner cutting, but has a much more buttery smooth feeling without the crunchiness of the Volk. I don't get my normal times on this cube, but it has become many people's mains, and it certainly could be the best cube for you. If you have a fairly light and calm turning style, then this cube could be perfect for you. The last two cubes on this list are really expensive. First, we have the Gans UM, which is essentially the magnetized version of the Gans Air, and costs $47.37 in honor of Feliks's world record with this cube. Now, this cube is actually a magnetized Gans Air Ultimate, which is a slightly improved version of the Gans Air, but those two cubes are practically the same. So really quick, let's talk about magnets. This is an idea that has been pioneered recently by Chris Tran in the Cubicle Labs department of the Cubicle.us. He started adding magnets to the edges and corners of cubes to help the pieces click into place at the end of each turn, preventing overshooting from happening, and that's essentially what they do. The magnets also do add a bit of weight to the cube, but it isn't really that noticeable. In the case of the Gans UM, the magnets feel very strong, and you can visibly see them snapping the layers back into place if you overshoot by a tiny bit. This greatly helps to reduce catches caused by turning inaccuracy, and overall makes the cube perform a lot better. This cube has a smooth feeling, but with an added snap at the end of each turn from the magnets. Additionally, it has insane corner cutting just like the normal Air. The performance is good and can fit a wider range of turning styles due to the magnetic benefits. Finally, we have the Volk M. This is the most expensive cube in this video, however it is magnetic so the price makes sense. This cube was used by Matt's Volk to set the former world record single of 4.74, and is used by many people who have this cube because of its awesome turning, corner cutting, and added stability from the magnets. I personally am not a huge fan of it right now because I get some weird catches on it that I don't experience on the normal Volk. However, this cube is still going to be an excellent choice for many people who love the normal Volk, but also want the added controllability and stability from magnets. Now, I wanted to add something a bit different to this video, and it's something that I think will be very helpful to a lot of people out there. First, I want to talk about which of these cubes I personally prefer the most, and then I want to show you all what some other fast cubers and YouTubers use as their mains. The reason that I want to talk about my favorite cubes is because everyone has preferences, including me, and since I made this video, I want you all to be aware of those. I try to be objective, but I don't always realize when I'm unfairly praising one cube over another, and so I think that if you know what I prefer, then you'll be better able to tell where I might be doing that without even knowing it. So, starting off with myself, my current main is the Gans UM with green springs. For quite a while, I was constantly bouncing around between 3 or 4 cubes as my main, because none of them really worked that well for me. However, in the past month or two, I've been consistently using the UM because it performs really well with my turning style. It has a good mix of speed and controllability, and flexes just the right amount to be forgiving in solves without being extremely unstable. I also enjoy the smooth but slightly crispy feeling that the magnets give to this cube. Now, let's move on to some other cubers.
What's up guys, it's Chris. So my main is the GTS-M, and I know these days it's probably not the most popular cube anymore. There's other cubes on the market that in theory are better, but there's just something about its kind of buttery smooth feeling when it's broken in that's really good. It can also be very fast or controllable, which is something I like. I feel like this cube actually works quite well when it's fast, especially paired with the magnets. It just seems to feel really nice to me. But overall, I really like the GTS-M. I understand these days people are probably going to have different preferences for what they consider to be the best cube, and the GTS-M probably isn't as high up there anymore, but I definitely still really like it, and I think it's a cube that's still worth looking at.
Hey guys, this is Lucas here. I use the Mogi Weilong GTS version 2 as my main for its smooth turning with a small click and for its effortless turning. This has allowed me to use a magnetic version which retains the original speed and feel better than any other magnetic cube that I have tried.
Hey guys, it's #Cuber. My main 3x3 is the magnetic Volk. I like the Volk because it's fast yet very stable. The added magnets make this cube all the more stable, and they seriously help prevent overshooting and lockups.
Hey guys, it's me Cubix, and this is a 10.28 average of 5, which I think is actually the best I've ever done on camera. I'm really enjoying this trend of magnetic cubes, and I really like the Yan 3 and the GTS. However, in this average, I'm actually using a Volk M. To me, the magnetic Volk is just a very stable and reliable cube that I can always go back to if my times aren't as consistent or aren't as good as on other puzzles. It has a really nice feel, especially with the magnets keeping all the layers aligned, and I actually kind of like the smaller size. Even though I don't use this cube all the time, it is one of my favorite cubes and I consistently get good times on it.
Hey guys, it's just Keep Cubing, and my main speed cube is the Cubicle Edition GAN 356 Air UM. This puzzle is perfect for me because it has very fast turning, but with the help of the magnets, it is also easily controlled. In addition, it does have a very smooth, buttery smooth feeling to it, and that's always something I look for in a main.
So that's it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed and have a better idea now of what cube you should buy. If you have any other questions, leave a comment down below and I will try as hard as I can to get back to you. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!